All right. Well, welcome to Sports Talk Thursday. It is April 2nd, 2020. A little bit of information about Sports Talk Thursday. My name is Spencer Emerson. I'm the Associate Director of Recreation and Wellness here at Clayton State University. This show is really meant for us just to get an opportunity to kind of keep the day-to-day life, normal. Since we're living in a time that isn't as normal as it used to be, sports has always been something to connect. So this show, we just have some pretty basic rules. One, when you join, just mute your mic. That allows us to lead the conversation. There will be chances for participants to, give opinions. Please comment if you do have questions. The comment function in the bottom, there is a little word box screen that you can click and comment any questions or, hey, I agree with this opinion, disagree with that opinion. And then finally, we are still part of the university community, so we do expect that this show, no matter what, will keep to the Laker community standards. So that way we're able to, have a nice, fun show. So, Willie, who are you?
Hi, I'm Willie Michael, Assistant Director of Student Organizations here at Clayton State University. Two-time champion for kickball and flag football. And I enjoy sports and just look forward to debating and chatting about different topics on the new sports talk show with Spencer.
All right, my name is Daryl Fedchek. I'm the Outdoor Adventure Coordinator for Clayton State University, and I will be kind of acting as the moderator for Spenser and Will because, they need to be reined in a little bit every now and again. In order to keep things a little bit easier for everyone to see, I'm going to leave my video off since this is more of a back and forth between Spencer and Will. Make sure you chime in on that chat line, though, too. There is going to be a section later where students and anybody who's participating can chat in, and we'll take your questions. So, Spencer, would you give us a quick DRW intramurals update, please?
Yeah, so, even though, we can't have on-campus intramurals, we have gone online. A few functions of that has been our esports program that we've really gotten started. We have leagues open right now through our IM Leagues website that allows you to play games such as NBA 2K, Madden 20, FIFA 20, Mario Smash Bros. On Switch and PC. And so, we're also looking for any new ideas for how you feel we can really get you involved in some intramural sports. It's going to be a lot of fun. I myself am going to be playing in the FIFA 20 tournament. I'll probably win it, but that's just because I'm really good at what I do. So, can't help myself.
All right. So, real quick about how this show is going to work. What I want to do each week is bring up some trending topics and let Spencer and Will really kind of give their opinions and their views on what's going on. But if you've ever been in a room with these two, they can get excuse me, they can get really into how these sports are interacting with each other, which is a lot of fun. So I'm going to moderate that. Each host will get 2 minutes to voice their topics or their thoughts on the topic. And then they'll get a couple of minutes each to respond to each other. A couple of things on that, guys. Just be nice, please. And we'll kind of keep going with those things. Like I said earlier, if you're just tuning in with us, please feel free to use that chat line to toss in your 2 cents. So, if you have questions that you want to ask about anything sports related, please let us know. This isn't just professional. This is, all over college, high school. And if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. So first, what I want to do, let's bring up the elephant in the room. The around the country, every league has got a response to COVID-19. So if we could do this, let's do Spencer. I'd like you to start. Just kind of give me your 2 minute thoughts on how leagues are responding to this epidemic or pandemic rather, and where you think things will be going from here.
Well, I think the interesting part is that, with certain leagues, the first league to come out and say, hey, we need to stop was the NBA. And at first, everyone was very confused. They said, how do you stop an entire league? This makes no sense. Since then, you could see there were certain leagues, certain sports that were really trying to push and say, no, we're going to keep business as usual. And then they finally realized that the appropriate thing to do was to cancel events or stop events. Because you remember first the NBA, said, hey, we're going to take, 30 days off. We're going to see how this affects all of us. But then there were still events like NASCAR and golf that were like, oh, no, we're still going. Like, it'll be fine. This is what we need to do. And it wasn't until the week of that NASCAR, they were supposed to be here in Atlanta, being at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and last minute they're like, oh yeah, we should cancel this. And so that's one of those unique opportunities in which you saw, the NBA take this stance of public safety, public health. We understand what the CDC is saying, and then rotating it into these other leagues going, oh, wait, maybe this is what we should do too. So that leadership was something very unique. And I think that's something that Adam Silver in the NBA has always been known for, is his ability to, be a forward thinker and not just think about the dollar.
All right. Will, you want to add your thoughts?
Sure. I think that I totally agree with what Spencer said. That's probably be one of the few times you hear me agree with something he said 100%. But in light of everything that's taking place right now, I was really impressed to see how sports teams and franchises
Did we lose Will?
I don't know if we lost Will. See, I'm not going to say that his opinion doesn't matter. But at this point, he was probably just going to agree with me. So, I'll take it to the best of my ability. And that's what's fun about doing these live streams, is that this is our first time ever doing the show. So we can see exactly what's going on. And I know Will probably join us pretty darn soon. He probably just needs to drop out, then drop back in. But Daryl, what do you think's happening with the leagues and the response to COVID-19?
I think the NBA had it right when it came out first, and the NHL came out like the day after, right? So I think they really made the right call initially.
Hey,
Oh, there he is. All right, Will's back. All right.
Nope, he's gone again.
He's not. That's all right. We'll deal with some technical issues. It is our first show, so we will get it. There he goes. Hey, Will, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just saying I've been impressed. A lot of the NFL owners and NBA owners have decided to pay the workers during this time off. So I think that's really, really huge. I think the sport fans who have paid to see the games and the workers that have worked the games get a chance to really see that they mean something to management. And I think that when this thing blows over, it just leaves the franchises in a good place from a branding perspective, that people just feel appreciated. Because a lot of owners, a lot of players have come together and said, hey, we're going to pay these hundreds of thousands of dollars for these individuals to still have their jobs or have money, to pay their bills and things of that nature. So I think that's been good. The Atlanta Hawks just did something the other day where they was giving food and giving school supplies to the community. And that's just another example of during this time, organizations can really, if they wanted to, they could take a back seat and kind of chill. Arthur Blank, he donated a couple of $1 million to different local causes. So I just think that those are some examples where those owners and the players together are just taking initiative with being intentional about just trying to help people out and keep folks in good spirits until things get back to normal.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. And like I was saying too, I think that the NBA, the NHL, they came out really fast with their responses, and
As this thing kind of spreads out, and we're seeing a lot more people, like Will is saying, jumping in and helping out, still paying those workers. I think we're going to continue to see that outpouring of humanity, which is just amazing to me. And one of the things that we're seeing, actually, I read the article today. It was Robert Kraft took the Patriots jet over to China and filled it up with all the PPE and the protective equipment that first responders would need, and he's bringing it back and he's donating it all. So I think that's pretty cool. But speaking of the Patriots, I do want to get into our next topic, which is, of course, Tom Brady. If you've not heard yet, I'm not sure why you're not paying attention, but Tom Brady has left the Patriots after a very long career, very successful career.
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're gonna get a chance to trash talk it. Don't worry. So, excuse me. If you haven't heard, Tom Brady has left the Patriots. He has gone to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I want to give you guys a few minutes to talk about it. And Will, I'm actually going to have you start on this one because I know Spencer's a Tom Brady fan, and I want to let him stew in it for a little bit. So, because after 19, 20 years or whatever it was of Tom Brady kicking the crap out of my Buffalo Bills, Spencer, I'm sorry, I gotta let you hang a little bit here. So, Will, if you want to go ahead, give me 2 minutes. One thing on this one. So since we're getting into more back and forth issues that we're going to want to chime in on, I am going to use a timer. What this is, you're going to hear the beep when your time is up for talking. When you hear that beep, I'm going to give you like 10, 15 seconds to wrap up your thought, and then we're going to move on. Does that sound okay to everybody?
Yep.
All right, sounds good. So, Will, you got 2 minutes on your timer. Go ahead. Give us your thoughts on Brady.
Okay. Was that timer a beat for Tom Brady to leave New England? Okay, so I think it's two sides to the whole Tom Brady thing. I think we all know that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. We know he's going in. I was very surprised that he left at this point. I thought he would stay to the end. I think on one end, I think Tom Brady made a really, really good move. Because if folks have been following that offensive line and defensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they see the young players over there, and then the division that he goes to, I think he really has a great chance to get deep into the playoffs if he could stay healthy. As a Dallas Cowboy fan with 5 rings on my finger, I'm very happy to see Brady leave because I was really get tired of folks saying that the Patriots were America's team when the Cowboys really were America's first team. So I do see Tom Brady probably finishing second in the division over there behind Drew Brees. I see the Patriots having to rebuild if they don't get a good quarterback. But once again, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, I'm really excited that he's going to go to another division and has to start, not start his career over, but just kind of start a whole new season and get used to some new things so that he won't continue to erase some of the history books from my favorite team.
All right, Spencer, you want to go?
Yeah, it's my turn now. So I have been a Tom Brady fan since he was at the University of Michigan. So being from the state of Michigan, I have always been a great fan of him. And while he may do some wrong, not very often, I'm not surprised if you've seen him and seen his ability to prove doubters wrong. That's exactly why. The Patriots weren't giving him a chance at the end. They didn't want to pay him the money that he deserved. He kept taking the, hometown discount, even though he's from California, that, now he's like, no, I can show you it's not just a, Belichick thing. I am the one who has this ability. And, now that, there were so many teams, so many opportunities for him to go, Tampa does seem like a really good choice for him to be there, especially because there's not really going to be that much of a, challenge because look at Jameis Winston. Like, he already has his own ESPN 30 for 30 special, where he threw 30 touchdowns, but he threw 30 interceptions. So, that's not that hard to do any better than he is. And then
some guys miss some routes.
But also they have a pretty good offensive unit. Their offensive line's really good. They have that ability. And again, Tom Brady, he's not doing this for the money. He already has enough money. Between him and his wife, they have more money than I can count. So you really can't say that, oh, this is just him trying to grab money, because you've seen it before. These NBA or these NBA, NFL, MLB stars switching teams. You don't always end with that one team. You can't always be the Derek Jeter, but who wants to be that Derek Jeter who last year in the MLB was the first time that the Yankees didn't make the playoffs, and it was just a sour note. So I think Tom Brady has that opportunity to show everyone wrong, because he's Tom Brady. 4 simple words: greatest of all time. Can't beat that. And I know you got your 5 rings, but those rings were made out of stone, Willie, because they were so old. Brady's got them real diamonds on those, so you can't really deny how great they are.
Hang on. All right, Will, you get a minute to respond.
Oh wow. I mean, I don't know where to start. I think that I'm glad that he agreed with me that he made a good pick, and I mean, it was great for him to win the Super Bowls that he won. I think, looking from the Patriots' perspective, they wasn't going to give a guy that's 50 years old $30 million a year to maybe get to the Super Bowl. And I think that the Patriots got exposed without Gronkowski. I think without Gronkowski, I think maybe they get deeper. But Brady knew, and Spencer knows, that Mahomes was standing at the front door. Mahomes was not going to let Brady through because Kansas City, they have that on lock. And then without Gronkowski, you can kind of see that his age has caught up with him. So he went to a weaker division with the Falcons and with the Carolina Panthers, who both are going to suck this year. And they probably end up second or third in that division.
Come on now. You ain't got to say all that now, Willie. Sorry to interrupt.
All right, Will, that's your time. Spencer, you got a minute.
That's going to be something else. You really can't deny. Gosh, the Falcons are horrible. Like, it is. Like, thank goodness when I moved to this city that, they had a soccer team, because that's the only true winner that there's ever going to be in this city. And it's not their fault. Like, I was cheering for them, but there's a reason why I put 28-3 on all our scoreboards for intramurals. Like, before the games even start, I change it 28-3. Like, then you can't help it. But I think Tampa's going to have a great moment. I think we're going to Tom Brady. I can't wait to get my Tampa jersey. I got one from the Super Bowl that he won in Atlanta. The year that Atlanta was supposed to be the first team to ever go to the Super Bowl in their own city. That didn't happen, but can't really wait. Hopefully the season starts on time.
They did go
to
a Super
hang
Bowl.
on, I want to chime in here. I want to chime in here real quick, because
they did go to a Super Bowl in their city. The team went to the Super Bowl in their stadium. So that's
Hang on, I want to chime in here real quick, because I went from being a Buffalo fan, which is another city that the only time they ever win is their AAA baseball team, or their lacrosse team, which they've dominated that league for the past 20 years, but we never get anything out of that, because all anybody remembers is wide right or phantom goal. So moving to Atlanta now, I kind of feel you on the soccer. So I get it. Hey, Will, do you have anything else you want to add to this one?
No, nothing much. I mean, Spencer puts up 23 and I put up 8 everywhere. So I think that we're on the same page there. Another time for me to agree with him, which I don't do a lot. I had one more thing to say. When I came to Atlanta and folks kept telling me that the Falcons sucked, I was a huge fan of Matt Ryan. When I saw Matt Ryan, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys got a great quarterback. I saw Julio. Then as I started to see the games and I seen the team, I was like, wow, this is a team that every year is going to go probably about 8-8 or 8-8 or 7-9. And I don't think it's the coach's fault. I just think some of it has to do with chemistry, and some of it has to do with folks are just comfortable with losing. There just can't be like a Cowboy and just feel that burn, that desire to win, to be America's team. Everyone can't be a star.
All right, before we move on to the next topic, Tony Berry has a question in the chat line about Tom Brady. He says, shouldn't Brady be concerned about what happens to so many amazing quarterbacks, that it could possibly happen to Brady too, that when you get to a new team, you end up tarnishing your record because you're never quite at the level you were with your original team? So he lists Joe Montana and John Elway as examples, and I'm actually going to drop Drew Bledsoe in there as well. Anybody want to talk about what if Brady should be concerned there?
Oh, here is again 4 words: greatest of all time. You can't tarnish a record like that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Who cares about his total wins? He's won 6 Super Bowls. So I know there's always that change of like, oh man, they look different in a different jersey, and I know that's been the case, but he's the greatest of all time. You can't, they still, Steve Young, Joe Montana, they talked about them still being the greatest of all time. And, there's nothing to where, yes, Tony Berry, he is the greatest of all time. No one's going to be better than him. Even Patrick Mahomes will never be better than him. He's
all right. That's your minute, Will.
I think that Mr. Berry brings up a very good question. I mean, Brady's legacy is sealed. He's won 6, just like Matt Ryan's legacy is sealed. He lost a Super Bowl. But the fact remains is that if Brady doesn't get injured, I see them having a really, really great season with that offensive line. We have to remember he hasn't had any serious injuries. So if they get 2 to 3 good players on that team, and they're in a division with the Falcons and Carolina, the Falcons is trading players, getting new players. They don't know how Gurley is going to be. Carolina totally is whack. All he has to really compete with is Drew Brees. So he might get lucky in that division, and he can go maybe 10-6, make it to the playoffs, and off experience, get deep into the playoffs. It's really a dangerous look that I think that people are ignoring. They're just like, oh, Brady's 48 years old.
That's your minute.
Okay.
Hey,
all right,
guys,
so
one of the
here's my question.
Can I jump in?
Whoa, Dr.
Whoa, Dr. Abdul jumping in. Sure, go ahead.
So the thing we got to pay attention to is Brady is trying to establish his legacy outside of Bill Belichick. I think this move was ego-driven. Both Belichick's and Brady's egos trying to say, hey, listen, you're nothing without me. They're both saying the same thing. And so this is going to determine it. If the Patriots are better than 4 and 12, or is it 17 games this year? I don't even know. Is it 17 games this year?
It's 16 this year. 17 goes next year.
Okay, so are they adding a new team to the playoffs? Is that this year?
Yep, that's this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Tampa gets in with that extra spot in the playoffs, but I don't think New England will get in. I just don't see what they have to do it. So I think Brady will win the first round in the "You're Nothing Without Me," but I think ultimately Belichick's going to win the war of "You're Nothing Without Me."
Who's going to quarterback the Patriots? E.J. Manuel? We saw him at Buffalo. He did really good there, but I think Tom Brady has always been ego. That's why if you hear anyone say the words 199, that's him. He's always saying, you picked me at 199. You post all these photos of how scrawny I looked and how I didn't look like anything as a true quarterback. And now he's like, I won 6. Like, John Elway was a first overall pick, and conned his way onto the Denver Broncos because he wasn't even supposed to go there. Same thing as Eli Manning. So Tom Brady is amazing. Okay, and I'm done.
All right, let's move on to our next topic then, which actually is a little section here where Spenser and Will kind of get to pick their own top topic that they want to talk about. Spenser, you're up first on this one. So any sports topic that you want, you get 2 minutes. Go ahead.
So my topic in which we're going to talk about is Atlanta United. So as you can see in the background on my jersey, I love all things Atlanta United. The one thing that has been the bright spot in this quarantine period is I at least got to see one match be played. The city of Atlanta should be grateful that Arthur Blank brought in a professional soccer team. They have the opportunity to really change the league and change the landscape of this sport. And so I think that everyone should give them a chance. I have gone to every professional sports league game in Atlanta. That includes the lacrosse, WNBA, NBA, Falcons, Braves, all that. And there's no atmosphere like going to an Atlanta United game. We are standing for the entire time. We are cheering. We have it going. When you go to a Falcons game, it's kind of like everyone's just there, and they just kind of sit and watch. And, I'd rather just watch it from home. Mostly just go to watch the opponents. So that is something. Yes, Tony Berry, we're going to talk about Atlanta United. This is the first show. I get to talk about what I want. And yeah, I think Atlanta United, if anyone wants to go to a game, once the season's back up, I have season tickets. I bought 2 of them because I just knew they were going to be a winner. There wasn't even a team yet when I bought them. And thank goodness I got them now because you can't get those tickets anymore. They're really hard to get into.
All right, Will, anything on Atlanta United you want to chime in with?
I was just gonna say, hey Spencer, after the call, I'm gonna send you the $2.50 on Cash App for Atlanta United ticket.
Spencer, anything back?
No.
All right, Will, top topic that you want to talk about. You get 2 minutes.
I think the topic that I want to talk about, I'm not really hearing too many people talk about, is the diet and health of NBA players right now. NBA players, some of my favorite players, LeBron and especially Chris Paul, they're doing these plant-based diets right now. And these guys are getting in the best shape of their life. And I'm telling you, if this coronavirus thing blows over in like the next 2 months and they try to finish out the rest of the season, it's going to be very interesting because these guys are going to be in the best shape of their life. They're eating, they're working out with their personal trainings, and they've literally taken a break mid-season. So if you have them come back and say, hey, we're going to finish this season in like late August, and LeBron's at 35 years old and he's rest for 3 months, and they kind of continue where the teams were in high brackets, that could be an interesting run at the championship title from my lens. And then you got players that have been injured that 8 to 10 weeks later, they're off injured reserve. So now that team is in a better shape to compete if they call some type of playoffs where the top teams can compete, because they may try to do that because the NBA has lost so much money. And I think the fans will want that. You just look at the top teams that's obviously we're going to make the playoffs. And hopefully, my Lakers get a chance to win that championship that we all know we were going to win. We were going to get it. We were going to get it. It was going to be real easy. So that's my topic.
All right. Spencer, anything back on that?
The NBA's gotten a little boring lately. It mostly only matters the last 2 minutes. I was a big fan back when the Pistons had, their key 5, and it was before the Super League, and it's really become the WWE of the sports world because it's all about the stars now, which is good because they're branding it. But at the same time, it just gets a little boring. But hey, go Lakers.
Hey, when was the last time the Detroit Pistons won an NBA championship?
I was wondering what the last time they won a game, so I'm not quite sure. I think it was 2004.
All right, guys. So what I want to do now is take a minute and answer some questions. We did have a couple of questions that were submitted ahead of time, and the first one is something I really have a lot of a lot of thoughts on here, but I want to see what you guys go with. What do you guys think about Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills? Will, you're up first.
Whoa. Once again, I mean, the NFL, bro, they shaking and baking, man. They making some deals and things. I really didn't see that coming. I thought that, he was a young prospect that every year his numbers climb to me. I think the Bills got a steal.
Spencer?
I mostly am wondering who to wear. Like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Like, Stephon Diggs has barely played a whole season since he's joined the NFL. And again, the Bills, they may even finish behind the Patriots, and that's going to be sad. So, I think there has been a lot of changes within the NFL that have gotten exciting, but this one isn't one of my tops.
All right. Next question up. What do you guys think about the rumors that Drew Brees may retire at the end of the season?
He's not retiring at the end of the season. I think the Saints just gave him 2 years, $50 million. So he's gonna finish that out. I think he'll play at least another 2 to 4 years. He wants one more Super Bowl before he retires, and I hope that Brady doesn't get in his way.
Spencer?
Yeah, I think with the Saints, he's going to be there for 2 more years. Barring injury, the Saints don't have a quarterback after him. They're really with their backup with Teddy Bridgewater. Going up to Carolina, they don't have that number 2, and so that's where I don't even think Bridgewater going to Carolina is a good idea. There's a reason why the Saints didn't drop Drew Brees right away, but we've seen this in the NFL before. That's the same as Jimmy Garoppolo going to San Francisco because Tom Brady's like, no, I'm the starter. This is what I'm going to do, and so that's what we like.
All right, and from Charles Howard, what's up, Charles? How you doing? He says, any thoughts on the DeAndre Hopkins trade?
I loved it. That is a superstar being traded to a good opportunity. I think he'll be able to grow, flourish, and make that team even better. I hate how underutilized and kind of a waste he was. With the Texans. I think with the Cardinals, he has that opportunity to be that next Larry Fitzgerald of that team, because Larry's a great mentor. He's a great overall athlete. And so DeAndre is going to do really good. And that star power of those two, you can't deny it. It's a really good 1-2 punch. Wish this would have happened 4 years ago. Because then it would have been even better. But hey, we'll take what we get.
Will, thoughts?
Yeah, I really like that trade. I think if you've been following DeAndre's career, him and the owner down in Texas, you kind of knew something was going to be coming up in a few years. He was real explosive about 2 years ago. Cost me a lot on my fantasy football, but his skill sets are there. So I think it's a good fit. I think you're going to see him have some career numbers when the upcoming football season starts.
Oh, yeah.
Charles, got any thoughts?
Yeah, for me, man, I think the Texans just basically gave him away to the Cardinals. What, they get like a 2nd-round pick or something like that?
Wow.
David Johnson, he's been hurt, several years. So I think they just gave him away, man. You see, like you talked about this, the Diggs trade, how Buffalo got so much. Minnesota got Diggs, but it seemed like the Texans didn't get anything. So that looks real bad for what's his name, the coach over there, O'Brien.
Yeah, that's the saddest part is where were the Falcons? Where were these other teams for? All you had to give was, a 2nd-round pick, old running back, and a 4th-round pick. Like the Falcons had exactly that. They had, Freeman, who they could have gave away, a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick. That I would have took that trade. That would have been. Could you imagine the Falcons this year? Like, shoot, they'd still be 6-9, but they'd be a fun, 6-9. So
we don't have any money to sign anybody.
Yeah, true. except for Matty Ice. You know, you gotta keep that superstar quarterback going.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, guys. Well, let's move into our final segment here. This is the segment we're calling Shots Fired. This is the part where I'm going to let Spencer and Will off their leash a little bit, and they can go ahead and talk at each other about however they want to do it. You can go ahead and take pot shots at somebody else's team. You can cheer for your own team. You can do it however you like. Now, last rule. Anybody takes a shot at my Bills, I'm muting you. All right. Will, you're up first. Shots fired, bud.
Man, all I'm going to say is, one thing I'll say is, being born in Chicago, I just remember being a kid back in 1985 when the Chicago Bears beat the New England Patriots 46-10. That just kind of still sits with me being a Cowboy. It's kind of funny how life comes full circle. So just like he remembers that, 28-3, I just remember that 46-10 against his organization. So, hey.
Spencer, clap back. You got time.
Well, let's just go after the whole city of Chicago. There is no reason to have that city. You're only relevant because of a very successful NBA player / horrible baseball player, a Michael Jordan. I think that city would do us good with just, opening up a water treatment plant, and just pretty much transitioning into keeping the great state of Michigan clean, and keeping our lakes clean. Because sports-wise, Detroit versus Chicago, Detroit's going to win. Derrick Rose couldn't win a championship even though he had an MVP. You can't help it. Like, I've been to the city of Chicago so many times, I don't want to count it. It really.
Okay, I have something for that. Well, first of all, there's a couple of people from there. You forgot about the great Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, Oprah.
Forgot about that. President Obama, Willie Michael. There are a lot of great people from there. The second thing is, I've been to Detroit enough because that's our neighboring town, and I remember that Isaiah Thomas. Detroit used to beat up the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan until finally we overcame, that mountain. So I would be very reluctant to say that Detroit or any parts of Michigan is better than Chicago. And I think that when people visit Chicago and they visit parts of Michigan, they'll see why the Magnificent Mile and that great skyline is what it is. And Derrick Rose, he got injured. If Derrick Rose wouldn't have gotten injured, I wouldn't put him on a level of Michael Jordan, but he would have won at least 2 championships. I think he would have been in the same category as a Dwayne Wade that's from Chicago. He would have gotten 2 championships.
Yeah. Well, there is a reason why in the city of Chicago, one of the best streets there is Michigan Avenue. So, don't forget that. I know, some of you may not know, but, again, we're pretty good. At least you're not Ohio. It could be that. Like, I'll go after the whole state of Ohio. If Tony thinks it's crazy that I'm going after a city, just wait till we talk about the state of Ohio. That one's coming up next. I can't wait.
Wow, he just assassinated my city with Michigan Avenue. I don't have anything for that.
You can't.
That's wild, because Michigan Avenue, I used to shop there a lot.
Yep.
Oh, good one. Good one. Oh, wow.
All right, I think Spencer wins shots fired this week. We'll see how we do next week. Oh, wow. All right, so last thing I want to do is let's talk a little bit about what's going to happen for next week. Spencer, if you want to give us a quick, just a quick update on, hang on, let me pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just want to give us a quick, on what's happening on the 9th, because it is a little bit of a different show.
Yeah, so first we want to invite everyone to go and participate and watch the SLIA, the Student Leadership and Involvement Awards. We, for Sports Talk Thursday, are going to go live at 2 p.m. Instead of noon, because we're going to be participating in the Student Leadership and Involvement Awards, which is really fun. Really excited about keeping this show. We really appreciate everyone who's joined. Share, send it, let everyone know that we're doing this. because this is a lot of fun and it's something to get us moving.
All right, and Will, if anybody has questions or topics they want to talk about, what's the best way to get a hold of us?
They could contact us. They could send some questions on the side, their contact information, or they can go to our landing page. Is the best way to send us information.
All right, so thank you everyone for tuning in. Please go ahead and feel free to share this out so that we can reach some more people if they want to participate. Thank you also for your comments and for your time. Don't forget to tune in next week, April 9th at 2 p.m., not noon. Have a good one, guys.
See you. Thank you.